COVID-19 is changing the way the world interacts. The church is not immune to those changes. Many churches have either canceled worship or moved to a virtual form of worship. But what about financial stewardship during this time? Most churches are still heavily dependent on gifts that are made in an offering plate when people are physically in church. The National Study of Congregations' Economic Practices shows that 78% of gifts are given during a worship service. So what can churches do to maintain giving revenue when people are not in church? One of the most important things a church can do to sustain stewardship is to continue to serve the Lord and love your neighbors. So keep being the best church you can be during this trying time. People feel isolated and disconnected during this time. There is no such thing as too much communication right now. Make sure your flock knows you are still there and knows what you are doing. Churches have preschool teachers, janitors, hourly employees, and other staff who aren't working now because of the crisis. Churches should do their best to continue paying all staff and honoring contracts with small businesses. If you aren't offering online giving, you need to start doing so immediately. Using online bill pay or mailing checks to the church still requires someone to come to the church. They need to count the checks, go to the bank, and make a deposit. But online giving will be direct deposited into the church's account and doesn't require anyone to go to the church or to the bank. Your Presbyterian Foundation Ministry Relations Officer can help you with this. Many in your church and your community are going to be financially impacted by this crisis. So set up a special fund and authorize your pastor or session to use this fund to provide assistance to those in need. Encourage people to give to the church as they normally do and to give to this special assistance fund. Some people in your church will need help, but many others still have the capacity to give. We often don't do a very good job of asking for money in the church. During this crisis, it is important to ask. Don't assume that church members will realize the financial impacts to the church. They need to know that for the church to make it through this crisis, and for the church to continue to support people during this crisis, that it will require people to continue to give. Ask during your virtual worship services for people to give. Direct them to the online giving option. Send a weekly email asking people to give with a link to the giving option online. Again, the most important thing a church can do right now is to glorify God and love your neighbors. Keep doing this. Tell your story. Offer online giving and ask people to give, and people will respond.